She sat across from his lover, the woman who destroyed her future. And all she wanted to say was, just yesterday, he was hers. And just a month ago. Liza recognized his footsteps by sound. Even without seeing him, she knew it was him. In 2 months she had grown used to that steady, restrained rhythm, the walk of someone who always knows where he is going. That day she fully wrapped his arm. Her light hair fell onto her shoulders, her blue eyes focused yet warm. André looked at her a little longer than the situation allowed, and the air between them thickened. Does it hurt? She asked softly. If I say it does, will you feel sorry for me? He smiled. She almost laughed. Then his gaze shifted. He was looking past her. Liza turned. In the doorway stood the commander, tall, composed, dark-haired. His presence quieted the room. A brief nod to André signaled it was time to leave. André stood, thanked her quietly, took Liza's hand and kissed it lightly, a gesture of gratitude. Then he leaned closer. See you tonight, he whispered. Liza nodded faintly, feeling her heart beat faster. The commander watched her for a few more seconds, as if memorizing her features, then followed André. Her shift ended late. Liza stepped into the cool night, but her thoughts were already with him. Why so late? A voice suddenly asked beside her. She startled. The commander stood beside her. I saw you were still here, didn't want you walking alone, he said calmly. I'll walk you, he added. They walked together into the night. At the bus stop their eyes met, briefly, warmly. He nodded and disappeared into the darkness. The bus arrived quietly. Liza sat by the window, watching the city drift by and thinking of André. When she returned home, the apartment greeted her with silence. Then, a knock at the door. André stood at the doorway. I told you, I'd come, he said softly. They looked at each other in silence, the quiet said more than words. His forehead touched hers. The world seemed to pause. In that closeness there was only warmth and trust. Morning arrived quietly. Light filtered through the curtains, filling the room with calm. Liza turned her head. André lay beside her, his breathing steady. She was afraid to move, not wanting to disturb the fragile moment. She simply watched him, as if memorizing every feature. Later he dressed quietly. At the door he paused and brushed his fingers along her cheek. See you soon, he said softly. The door closed, and the apartment filled with silence again. Nearly a month passed. Work and shifts returned life to its routine rhythm, yet the memory of that night remained alive inside her. Liza decided to surprise him, to travel and see him. The road felt long, but her thoughts shortened the distance. A taxi stood by the base gate. André stepped out with a beautiful woman. He spoke to her closely and casually, his hand touching her shoulder. Something inside Liza quietly broke. I'm here to see André, she told the guard. He's not here. He won't return today. The words sounded calm, like a simple fact. She stepped outside, holding back tears. That was when the commander noticed her. Heading into town? He asked. He drove her in silence, bought flowers at a traffic light, and placed them on her lap. Liza looked at him in surprise and quietly asked about them. He replied simply that they were to lift her mood. She looked sad. Near a cafe he suggested stopping for coffee. She had nowhere else to go, so she agreed. Inside, he asked no unnecessary questions, and beside him she felt an unexpected calm. That evening they stopped near a hotel. His hand rested gently on her back. She did not pull away. The night passed quietly, like a pause between heartbeats. In the morning she woke alone. A note with a phone number lay on the table. At the bus station she saw André again, standing beside the same woman. They were close, talking, even smiling. At some point the woman's smile faded, her eyes filled with tears. She suddenly embraced André tightly, as if she didn't want to let go. He hugged her back, whispering something softly. Liza felt everything inside her tighten. She couldn't keep watching, she turned away and hurried onto the bus. Sitting by the window, she looked at André. Her heartbeat was uneven. She took out her phone and began typing a message. At that moment the woman hugged André again, brief but tight, paused for a second, then walked onto the bus. André watched her go. Liza's fingers trembled as she typed, "Goodbye." The message was short, final. She turned off her phone. Liza turned away from the window, trying to steady her breathing. At that moment she saw the same woman board the bus, walk down the aisle, and sit beside her. Liza looked at her and tried to smile. The smile was faint but sincere. "Were you visiting your boyfriend?" the woman asked quietly. "No, my brother. He serves here." Inside Liza, a strange silence settled, as if something had broken and cleared at the same time. The bus pulled away. She watched through the window until his figure disappeared into the crowd. Only then did tears slowly roll down her cheeks. There was no road back anymore. Now she understood. It wasn't a mistress who ruined her future, it was her own rushed conclusions and fear.